Hey everybody, how's it going tonight? Let's see, what are we going to get into? All right. Let's go ahead and start on Twitch here. There we go. We should be live on Twitch right about now. Excellent. Hi everybody. Welcome to Crazy Ken's Storytime. Tonight, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to do something fun. So let's see here. All right, let me see. What do we want to do? I think we're going to randomly pick one out. We're going to... All right, what do we got here tonight? Oh, we got Babylon. Full footage. I've never even heard of this one. Yeah. Why not? This is from For Anomaly. Or we can do... Let's see. Oh, that one looks pretty good. Babylon. Says, all right. Okay. All right. Let me open up another window here so I can make sure that our people on Twitch can join us as well.
We're going for 3 in a row today. Going for 3 in a row.
There we go. For some reason. All right, give me a sec here while I iron all this out. Huh. Well, that's weird. Okay. Oh, you know what? We'll just have to do it the other way. All right. Sorry, I wasn't quite as prepared tonight as I normally would be. There we go. Now. All right, audio-visual recording was prepared for the new personnel by joining the investigation team of the Department of Space Simulation in the year 2023. The material is exclusive property of the International Convention for Space Safety, composed of the governmental sciences agencies of the United States, Canada, and France. Its dissemination is subject solely to the historical review purposes, and its replication outside the American jurisdiction is strictly prohibited. Morning, Josie. Article 13 of the Secrecy Pact of the International Convention regarding the safeguarding of 1994 incident known as the Reset. All right, here we go, guys. New Moon Project. Okay. All right. So, what are you guys' opinions? What do y'all think? Do you think this is just going to be another version of the Greylock tapes, or do you think this is going to be its own thing? I'm guessing it's probably going to be its own thing. So, I just want to make sure that I have my chat up here so I can see our wonderful Twitch folks too. There we go. What do y'all think of the new background? Hopefully, y'all like it. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and continue. The recently formed United States Space Security Department had been studying particular anomalies on the moon. Own thing. I like it, Josie. Anomalies on the moon. American scientists were taking into account the Soviet institutions to reach the natural satellite for reasons beyond propaganda. Forgive me one moment. I gotta shrink this up for just a sec. I gotta open up another window over here. Make sure we're streaming on the right platform here, because sometimes this stuff just likes to do its own thing. There, nope. Looks like we are doing the right thing here. All right. All right. There we go. Let's just pull that over here. All right. Now we're back at it, everyone. American scientists have decided to send an exploration mission to the far side of the moon, where it was suspected that a rift was forming that in about 100 years could cause a natural satellite to crack and... Hold on. What do we got here? Let's back that up. Can crack and lose its orbit around Earth. All right. Oh, everybody, please make sure go to For Anomaly. Make sure and subscribe to their channel. Give them a support if you can, $5 on Patreon, or help these guys, who produce this content so that we get to do what we do. It would be much appreciated. I know they would love it immensely. What the hell's going on here? There we go. Aha. Aha. There we go. All right. Back at it. I have no idea what this is about, by the way. I just saw this pop up tonight. These were the photographs of the rift captured in 1969. Okay, so what do we got here? Looks like, ooh, well done For Anomaly. Well done. Look at that. We got a spaceman here. Okay, it looks like we got a crack forming on the moon. All right. Not sure what it is, but we will definitely take a look at it. So one of the things is this is a reaction channel, right? It's really important that we go to For Anomaly and give him all the prop credit and love, because without these guys, I can't do what I'm doing. So please go to their channel. I'll have a link in the description, and we'll be able to get this done. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to post a link to his channel right now. Here we go. Let me just put this over here in chat. Please. For Anomaly. NOM4 LY's channels. And give them all the love. Boop. There you go. Channel's right there. Everybody, please go over and give them a quick sub. We're going to get back to it. Okay, interesting. We got cracks going on here. All right. Interesting. See the size of the fissures? Look at that. Look at the size of those fissures right there. After having verified with imperial evidence, it was kept a secret for nearly 20 years until a report from the Space Security Department notified that the catastrophe would be imminent. By the time the luminal hypothesis had to be put into action, Rimholz Ferrari luminal hypothesis had to be put into action. I hope I said that right.
In this way, light could play a fundamental role in gravitational
so
alterations.
let me turn that down a little
The
bit.
Reinholdt-Ferrier-Luminal hypothesis has proposed a revolutionary idea for physics
So I guess we're going to learn what
in
the
its innovative
Reinhold-Ferrier hypothesis is.
approach to spatial phenomena affecting planet Earth and the overall movement of celestial bodies.
Light as the energy of motion.
This hypothesis suggests that the Earth is influenced by the Moon not from a traditional perspective of gravity, but rather that it is the sunlight reflected from the Sun that causes the majority of these phenomena.
Okay.
Doctors Jürgen Reinholdt and Luc Ferrier propose something difficult to imagine: a planet without its natural satellite.
Interesting. So let's back that up here because we want to make sure that we have. Okay, so it's saying.
The Luminal hypothesis has proposed a revolutionary idea for physics in its innovative approach to spatial phenomena affecting planet Earth and the overall movement of celestial bodies.
Light as the energy of motion. So I think they're saying that light has mass and mass is able to propel. If
This
I'm
hypothesis
gathering what
suggests that the
they're
Earth is
saying here.
influenced by the Moon not from a traditional perspective of gravity, but rather that it is the sunlight reflected from the Sun that causes the majority of these phenomena. Doctors Jürgen Reinholdt and Luc Ferrier propose something
Okay.
difficult to imagine: a planet without its natural satellite.
Interesting. We'll let this play out and then I'll read it to you guys. But it looks pretty interesting. So I know a lot of people will be listening to this. So I'll try to read out and describe everything. And of course, we're going to go in depth. I've been working on some how-to, or not how-tos, but what am I thinking? Explanation videos where we're going to really take an in-depth. We're going to break it down episode by episode. Those should be coming out next Tuesday and Thursday. And then we're going to get back to our Monday through Monday, Wednesday, Friday stream schedule. And then maybe Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, I'll release a not how-tos. See, I'm thinking Star Citizen. We will release the explanation videos for each one of these. Oh, I forgot to read that. Let me back that up here. In 1990, the governments of the USA, Canada, and France initiated a secret scientific military operation called the New Moon Project, which aimed to build a large heliosynthetic portion projector using the as yet investigated chemical element 116. Okay, so now we're talking about cracks on the moon, and we got a new element. Let's see what we got. Thanks to its newly discussed properties, it would be possible to recreate the luminosity of the moon and overlay it onto the natural satellite so that no one on Earth would witness its disappearance. Okay. So basically, they're talking about shooting a giant projector into space and giving us a new moon. The synthetic point of element 116 that precedes the lunar luminescence in the laboratory. Okay. Or produces lunar luminescence. Produces. Between 1990 and 1993, a great hololuminescence project was built on Canadian territory. It took a long period of time to calibrate the synthesis point of the element 116, while astrophysicists debate the distance period that needed to be defined to ensure that the image of the fake moon perfectly matched the real one. Interesting. All right, well, so now we're looking at I have to stop. Sorry, guys, that I have to stop this so much, but I don't want to trigger anything in the YouTube algorithm, so to speak, right? We're doing transformative work here. We're not stealing. I encourage everybody to go watch the original author's video. The links are in the chat right now. I will make sure that these links get put in the description of the video as well. But it looks like we're looking at something like a Hadron Collider or some kind of machinery with a couple guys in scientific outfits here. Or in sterile suits. Same thing. In March 1994, the first test of the projector began, which required relocating to a large hangar on the outskirts of Vancouver to be assembled with 5 luminescence cannons that synthesized the element 116 in 2-hour intervals. Due to the unknown effects of the element on the human body, on-site workers were in many cases deprived of safety training and were kept uniform about the project's theorization. All right, looks like we got another picture here. I kind of like how he's bringing some realistic photos in here. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody else is seeing this, but I'm really enjoying that. Let's see. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, we got another picture. All right. The initial trials were conducted by projecting the hololuminescence onto the northern forest, where they could verify that the projected image slightly deformed the surrounding trees and exerted a gravitational force consistent with the expected. One sec, everybody. I just need to make a quick adjustment here to my stream. Let's see here. Boy, I am apologizing. I just don't have my shit together tonight. I wish I had. All right, here we go. Okay. Just make sure I get all this out. There we go. Just want to make sure we get that out there. Okay. All right, now back to the live stream. I apologize, though, everybody. All right. Force is consistent with the expected portion of the moon and its natural in its natural state. Oh, look at that. Interesting. Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. It's projecting. Interesting. Some trees, as shown in the photographs, experience slight structural alterations. However, others underwent changes at the molecular level and their components became impregnated with element 116 and radiation. For this reason, it was decided to cut down these trees and take them to a laboratory for further study. On September 7, 1994, after a series of preliminary tests, the final calibration of the machinery took place. At 12:05 a.m., the projection of the fake moon image began at the ground level, and it was subsequently elevated to an eclipse position with the real moon. Oh, look at that. So they got a picture of the projector here. Okay. Look at that. It did project the moon. Neat. right, interesting. Looks like a giant eyeball. The process was scheduled to last only 2 minutes, with the last 3 seconds being critical to the project. This image an imprint on the moon. Photograph of Dr. Reinholz, who witnessed the event from his hotel room. At 3:50 a.m., the photograph taken by Dr. Reinholz revealed the outcome of which was impressive, not so much for its effectiveness in placing a second moon in the night sky, projecting an image of 3,474 kilometers in diameter at a distance of 384,400 kilometers in a matter of seconds, but rather it was due to a catastrophic miscalculation. In the night sky, 2 moons were now imprinted with a considerable distance between them, leading to the automatic implementation of the emergency protocol called the reset. Dexter. Yep, they tried to stamp the moon. An emergency protocol called the reset has had serious consequences for space observation between 1994 and 2023. After the failure of the New Moon project, a large heliosynthetic projector had to be used to create a simulation of the night sky as seen from planet Earth in order to counteract the effects of the second moon. So basically what's going on is they decided that the moon was developing cracks and they felt it was going to shatter apart. So they created this thing with this element called element 116, where they created this massive projector, right? Now, this element gave whatever they projected the same gravitational field and everything else. So they were trying to do an overlay of the moon, but they missed and created 2 moons. But because this element 116 creates a gravitational pull, now we have 2 moons causing tidal issues. So now they're projecting a whole entire sky over planet Earth in order to counteract the effects of the second moon. That's where we're at right now. What do you think of the new backdrop, Dex? Until today, the holographic layer has been losing its effectiveness, which explains the various testimonies and videos since 2019 that have recorded 2 moons in the sky around the world. The International Convention for Space Safety has been engaged in an extensive meetings to address this issue. However, due to the current bellicosis situation, these discussions have been permanently interrupted. Yeah, thanks, bud. You like the purple and black I got going on there? Maybe, I don't know. I just ordered them off Amazon and thought I would have a little bit more professional looking background. Also, if anybody's interested, you guys can go to, if you prefer to watch me on Twitch, you can go to Twitch TV /crazykens_story_time. And you'd be welcome to watch me over on Twitch as well. Thanks, but I wanted a more professional looking background. That's all. I can adjust this too real quick. There we go. There we go. See, I got a window right there. There we go. Okay. We'll just do that right there. It's amazing what you can get away with just a camera. All right, here we go. We're doing Babylon full footage tonight. It helps tremendously. The following presentation is under the supervision and guardianship of the Pentagon Security Commission, 1998.
In 1986, the German broadcasting network Deutsche Welle financed a documentary that never saw the light of day. Despite the extensive technical team, including astrophysicists, chemists, historians, anthropologists, and archaeologists, foreign pressures were exerted on the federal government to prevent the audiovisual material from being disseminated under any circumstances. Given the events that occurred on the east coast of the United States and Canada in 1996, the review of this German investigative material is of utmost importance in understanding the phenomenon that, due to the technology from the New Moon Project's hololuminescence cannon, was made possible to be kept hidden from the civilian population.
I'm hoping everybody got that. If not, let me know. So basically what it's saying is here, there was some kind of incident on the East Coast, right? It occurred on the East Coast, United States, Canada in 1996. A review of the German investigation. Here we go, that word again, New Moon Project. Kept hidden from the civilian populace. See, this is, I don't understand why the government always wants to hide this stuff from us, right? Tell us, we can do it. We can handle it. All right.
In den Annalen der antiken Geschichte und der reichen Mythologie.
Okay. We have this guy narrating in German, so I'm going to translate. In the annals of ancient history and rich mythology that surrounds it,
die sie umgibt, taucht eine Erzählung auf.
Emerges a tale that has transcended the bounds of time. I think I know where they're going with this. I'm just going to call it. I understand X, but I'm going to go ahead and call this one. So if you understand the Greeks, Phoenicians, and a lot of the ancient civilizations, and even in Africa, they have tales of a time when there was no moon in the sky. Basically, there's some civilizations that started their calendar before moon, after moon appears. So just something interesting to keep a note. I can do a whole video on that if you guys would like.
Auf, die die Grenzen der Zeit überschritten hat. Eine Erzählung, die die zügellose Ambition.
A narration that invokes man's unbridled ambition and confusion of languages.
Des Menschen hervorruft, das Sprachengewirr und die unermüdliche Suche nach Perfektion.
And the relentless pursuit of perfection.
Es wird die Geschichte
The
eines
story is told of a
kolossalen Turms
colossal tower
erzählt, der
that
danach
sought to touch the
strebte,
very
die gleichen
stars,
Sterne zu berühren,
erected
errichtet
by
von
a
einem
people
Volk, das
united
durch
by a
den Wunsch
desire to
geeint
reach
war,
the
das
divine.
Göttliche zu erreichen. Doch wie
However,
die Wellen,
like
die
the
gegen
waves
die
crashing
Klippen
against
brannten,
cliffs,
griffen
the gods retaliated.
die Götter zur Vergeltung. Aber was
But what if
ist, wenn
we
wir
told
sagen
you
würden,
that this
dass
myth
dieser
is
Mythos
just the
nur die
tip of the
Spitze des
iceberg?
Eisbergs ist, ein Schatten
A
der
shadow
Realität,
of the
der in einer
reality
der
lying
größten
within
Lügen der
one of
Menschheit ruht?
humanity's greatest lies?
Könnte der
Could
berühmteste
the,
Turm der
could the
Antike
famous
eine
tower of
riesige
antiquity
Metapher für
have
eine
been an
außerirdische
enormous
Struktur
metaphor
gewesen
about an
sein?
extraterrestrial structure?
Wahre Geschichte
turn
des
that down a bit.
babylonischen Mythos.
The true story behind the Babylonian myth. Babylon, the movie. I can't read that, but you all, if you can, let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Classified records, satellite images from May, August of the year 1996. NOAA. The following images depict an extreme anomaly over the eastern coastlines of the United States, Canada, which were observed on 4 different days, each briefly lingering in the skies over the Atlantic Ocean and a portion of the American continent. Look at that. Over the border, U.S., Canada. Okay. Off the eastern coast, U.S., Canada. Okay, it looks like that's around Georgia, the Carolinas there. Over American territory. Yep, that's going from what looks like Texas all the way up to Canada. Atlantic Ocean, north, off of Canada. The massive anomalies, black patches, started lasting only 2 minutes and ending over the Atlantic Ocean for 6 hours, with no discernible activity or interaction with the surroundings. Okay, so we got these. Oh, okay, let me turn those back off. There we go. So we've got these black patches now appearing over. Hey, buddy couch surfer, thanks for joining us. Now, it looks like we have the new moon project where they found cracks on the moon's going to be destroyed, right? Now then we have them building a projector using element 116 to project a new face of the moon so we don't have a clue what's going on. Then they miss and project a new moon. Now earlier of the video, probably in the first 2 minutes, they're saying that light itself has gravity. So with this element 116, they are able to project a moon with the same gravity as the moon. Unfortunately, they missed. So we have 2 moons. Then, to compensate that, the government, in its wonderful wisdom, decides to project a sky so that we can only see 1 moon. And that's kind of where we're at right now with this for anybody just kept following along. By the way, this is called Babylon. It is by 4Anomaly. The link's in the chat there. If you could just scroll up, please, everybody, go in, make sure, go to their channel, give them a sub and a like, and comment on them, and let them know you found them on Crazy Ken's Storytime. All right? All right, here we go. Off the coast of New York, it looks like we've got a little splotch there. Hey, buddy, how you been, man? All right. Recorded anomaly, rectangular solid structure. Oh, and I also left out one part here. Now we had a documentary in what appeared to be German that was saying that the Tower of Babel is no longer not what we think it is, but it was a metaphor for an alien structure. So that's kind of rectangular solid structure, indefinite characteristics, 7 hours static. All right. The myth of the origins of Babylon are interwoven with the beliefs and legends of ancient peoples. According to tradition, Babylon was founded by Nimrod, a biblical figure known for his audacity and ambition. This ancient city became a melting pot of cultures and civilizations, a place where myths intertwined with reality, and where gods walked among mortals. In this context, the Tower of Babel stands as a narrative that transcends the pages of the Bible and became a lasting symbol. The story recounts the construction of a gigantic tower. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back that up. Tower by the inhabitants of Babel, with the aim of reaching the sky and challenging divine authority. However, the diversity of languages that God imposes on humanity disrupts their ambition, generating confusion that scatters them across the face of the earth. This narrative encapsulates the duality. This narrative encapsulates the duality of human desires, the pursuit of knowledge and transcendence versus the limits of human existence. However, never before has the second Garden of Eden been mentioned. Ooh, there's a second one they're talking about. Okay, this is getting interesting.
der von diesem Turm herabstieg und sich als großes
Descending from the tower as a great sterilization field of the species. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Feld der Artensterilisierung manifestierte.
I'll edit that part out.
Noch wurde je
Nor
erwähnt,
has it been
dass
said
der
that the
Turm
tower
nie ein
was
menschlicher
never a
Bau
human
war,
construction,
sondern eine monumentale Raumstruktur, die sich ohne bekannt
but a monumental space structure that settled on Earth for unknown reasons.
Grund auf der Erde niedergelassen hatte.
Now we've got a cut to a new video. The following footage corresponds to the sudden interruption of a CNN broadcast on September 21st, 1996. This interruption gave way to a recording that was repeated intermittently until the 30th of the same month. If it's too loud, I'll see what we got here. Okay, interesting. Did you guys see that right there? Looks like we got some kind of plane, all right? Looks like we got some kind of structure here. And then it cuts to a roadway. And then we get, of course, that wonderful noise of... All right. Our programming will return as soon as these issues are resolved. We apologize for any inconvenience and disruption. All right, got that funky music going on. We'll probably not want to play that for copyright reasons. Yeah. It is recommended to all viewers in North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine to stay tuned despite the technical difficulties. If you are require assistance, please contact our technicians who will be glad to visit your residence to explain the reasons behind this signal failure. We remind you not to leave your homes. Please continue watching our programming. There is no need to be outdoors. Interesting. All right. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you. This interruption in the broadcast did not only occur on the CNN network, but also occurred on ABC, CBS, Fox, ESPN, PBS, and others. Intermittently, the regular programming did not report news from any state along the eastern coast. I wonder if that corresponds with that big black spot. Let's see.
The following report was urgently sent to the Chief of Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon. New York, September 29th, 1996. Jan Fuvera, Delegate of Security, United States Government, is sending correspondence to Peter Widman, Chief of Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon, in order to inform about strange anomalies on the eastern coast of the United States and Canada.
All right, we got some letter here. It says a confidential report. Sorry, guys. Come on. Open. There we go. I want my meat stick. Don't go there. All right. Gotta have my snacks for this. Everybody got your snacks? Everybody should have their snacks. All right. Let us continue. Okay, here we go.
To Mr. Peter Widman, Chief of
They're going to read it for us, so let me turn this up for everybody to hear.
Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon. Notice that during the early hours of September 20th until the evening of the 29th of the same month in 1996, extremely unusual occurrences have been reported along the eastern coast of the northern American continent, specifically spanning from New Jersey, United States to Nova Scotia, Canada. Immediate notification has been sent to the relevant authorities for the...
I wonder if I'm not sure, is that the black spot or if it's that purple rectangle that they were talking about?
urgent activation of civil security protocols requiring joint action from the American and Canadian military. Communication networks were promptly severed, and pertinent information related to the ongoing investigation was placed under strict control of the Ministry of Defense. During the same time frame, the censorship of photographs by state satellites and electromagnetic blockade in orbit over American territory were ordered. Mr. Andrian Wood, NASA's emergency delegate, has reported on the confidentiality of the case to prevent leakage towards Roscosmos and CNSA. Awareness is taken of the hololuminescence cannon project by the United States Department of Interstellar Security and the International Department of Space Simulation for use in the event that its usage becomes extremely pertinent. Expert recommendations suggest that, should the event described in this document repeat, the hololuminescence cannon must be fully operational and at the disposal of the United States Ministry of Defense no later than October 3rd, effectively bypassing Emergency Airspace Intervention Protocol 48. The report and photographs are attached on the following pages.
Now, that's pretty interesting. So, New York, an enormous structure approximately 12 miles in length appeared on the coastline, deep black in color and seemingly solid. It emitted a very low frequency sound that most people couldn't hear. Some lights were observed on its structure. It vanished after 8 minutes. Okay. That's pretty neat. This is in 96 and it's a black and white photo. An enormous structure, this time of shorter length, 6 miles, materialized on the coastline. At first glance, it appeared to be some sort of projected image. Yet, a couple of birds were seen perching on the structure, though birds vanished as the large structure disappeared after 10 minutes. Interesting. So it's physical. We know it's real. It's not one of the projections. That's good to know. An enormous structure, 25 miles in length, appeared. We'll just knock that down. An enormous structure, 25 miles in length, appeared on the coastline and remained there for 30 minutes. It seemed to be very thin in comparison to its large size, possibly not exceeding 40 meters in thickness. It also emitted a very low frequency sound that most people couldn't perceive. Suddenly, it disappeared without a trace or causing any disturbance to the sea. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and without the sound here for a minute. What else we got? Bring that up just a little bit for everyone. Okay, it looks like in this picture we've got another one. Enormous structure, 17 miles in length, materialized for 2 minutes before fading away, breaking into smaller parts that ascended like vapor into the sky. A strong smell of sulfur was reported in the vicinity following the incidents. Then it looks like it's another large rectangle, but part of it is kind of thin. It's got, on the picture, it's got something circled there, and I can't quite read what it says. It says postum? I can't. Dust? Can't tell. We'll find out in a minute. How's the stream, everybody? Everything coming through with no buffering? I hope. Okay, New York coastline. An enormous structure approximately 9 miles in length appeared surrounded by cloud cover, preventing an assessment of its height. However, according to reports from the department members who observed it from another part of the city, they estimated that by calculating the shadow cast along the clouds, it extended into the atmosphere. It vanished in 7 minutes. Interesting. Something this big, how do you hide that? I mean, there's got to be hundreds of thousands of people that have seen this, especially on the East Coast. I mean, if you've never been to the East Coast, man, there's people everywhere. That's insane. All right, let's get back to this and see what's going on here. All right. This is off the New York coastline. Yeah, so you can kind of, if you look at it, kind of looks like it's going up. You can see lights behind it. Huh. An enormous structure, approximately 11 miles in length, appeared on the coastline. This is Portsmouth coastline. Portsmouth, mouth, coastline. Okay, let's go. Appeared on the coastline. It also had lights that made it resemble a building. This one did affect the tides after it disappeared at the 6-minute mark. Okay, so this one actually caused a wave. Okay, now here we go. We're back to a picture of the traditional Tower of Babel. The classic painting depicted Babylon as prosperous, enormous, and culturally as well as economically rich city. These are Hanging Tower of Babylon, Gardens of Babylon. However, there are authentic records that contemporary drawings from neighboring cultures of the splendid city rebuilt by Nebuchadnezzar II. Got a picture of an archaeologist in 1952. These drawings are scarcely known amongst present-day researchers and have rarely captured the attention for scholarly studies. We have, for example, drawings found in old papyri buried in vessels. In what we now know as the Soviet Republic of Turkmenistan.
In dem Gebiet, das heute als die Sowjetrepublik Turkmenistan,
Turkmenistan, Iran, Afghanistan, and even India.
Afghanistan und sogar Indien bekannt ist.
Archaeological Osberg in Duna, Iran. Okay, 78. They're showing various pictures of different dig sites inside of Afghanistan, India, Iran. Turkmenistan. Images are restorations with certain color enhancement to simulate the original painting. I need a brief sec here, guys. We're going to take a quick intermission. Only so I can get some water. All right, sorry about that, everybody, but I am back. I just needed to get some water. If you're still with me, I appreciate it. Remember to go in and like the channel. It definitely helps with the algorithm. All right, here we go. Images are, all right, we already read that. India, 606 V Chur. Okay, look at that. That looks interesting. So what we got here is a tower. It looks like it's got a bunch of rectangles flying on and off of it. And it's in the sky. Or it goes to the sky. Turkmenistan, 600. Okay, so here we go. We got another tower. Looks like it's on some clouds, and this time there's a bunch of planets or spheres of some kind hanging around it. India, 599. Okay, this one has a sphere, but the sphere is contained in something. Again, it looks like the top of it, and it looks like it goes all the way to the stars. Again, it's multiple layered with different geometric designs. And this one's a very simple drawing of what looks like a rocket ship and a bunch of spheres hanging around. Okay. Interesting. If anybody's got a dirty mind, I want you to look in the upper left-hand side. They're like flying boobs. Okay, this one, India 602. This one actually looks like a rocket ship. And this one looks like a, I don't know, a tower with legs and arms? Like a squid? This one in Iran, same thing. But it's got other ships flying around it. Turkmenistan has one that it looks like the tower is walking on those tentacles. And there seems to be things flying around it. And this one is a little more geometrically uniform, but again, it looks like it's flying, and it's got a bunch of arms almost in the shape of a menorah. Interesting. This one in Afghanistan shows a tower, and at the top of the tower is where all the tentacles are. It's almost like a giant umbrella of tentacles.
Alle diese Zeichnungen haben
All of these are common features not present in other traditional Western paintings.
etwas gemeinsam, das in den übrigen traditionellen Gemälden des Westens nicht erwähnt wird. Ein übermäßig
An
hoher Turm
excessively
mit
tall
ziemlich
tower with
eigenartigen
quite particular
Merkmalen. Sie alle fallen auf,
characteristics.
weil sie
They
sich
all
auf
stand
den
out
Turm
for
zu Babel
depicting the
als eine
Tower
Art
of Babel
außerirdisches
as
Raumschiff
a
beziehen,
sort of
immer schwarz und
extraterrestrial craft. Always depicted in black and in some drawings with ominous tentacles.
in einigen Zeichnungen mit unheilvollen Tentakeln. Die Entdeckungen haben in der
The discoveries caused a massive stir in the archaeological community due to
archäologischen
the
Gemeinschaft für große Aufregung gesorgt, da es sich um Beweise
evidence
handelt,
they
die der
provide
gängigen Version
contradicting the
widersprechen.
universally accepted version. Okay, now we've cut away from the documentary again. And now it looks like we are on a security cam, 1996, 411, 3:12 a.m. It looks like it's an old, probably an 8mm VHS camera or a security camera of some type. And you can hear that in the background. Okay, we just went from kind of light to really dark and a big snow flurry. Let's back that up. Something happened here.
Die der gängigen
All right, let's go. Okay, so, oh no, we just went from clear, and it looks like a lightning storm and a snowstorm, which is unusual. I didn't know you can get lightning in a snowstorm. Okay. We got some flashes in the background. What? I'm not sure. Did I miss something here? Let's see this again. See if we missed anything. Oh. Hello and welcome. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, see, we're getting these flashes, but I'm not really seeing anything in them. All right, let's see. I got one on. Nope, still not. I must be missing it. If you see it, please say hi in the comments and let me know. Or hit me up in the chat. Early morning of November 4th, 1996, an unforeseen storm was reported by the Meteorological Service for the city of Philadelphia. Okay. Early morning. Okay.
Satellite images once again located the large black spot, which this time came accompanied by a sleek front and left unexpected outcomes in its wake, which were observed the following morning.
So written in the words here. Let's go back a little bit. There we go. We're doing Babylon
Satellite
by Four
images.
Anomaly today. By the way, anybody who's new and just arriving with us, you're much appreciated for being here. All right, so here, before we get into it, this is Source NOAA event duration from 1:02 a.m. to 8:55 a.m. Winds up to 68 miles an hour, south direction. Okay, now we have that same dark black spot here. I think this is the same one we were talking about earlier.
Once again located the large black spot, which this time came accompanied by a sleek front and left unexpected outcomes in its wake, which
Rainfall 35 millimeters, damage level
were
2.
observed the following morning. Thousands of scorpions of varying sizes, all alive, fell during the early hours along with the storm, with their presence recorded in different parts of the city. By
It's not a Sharknado. It's a Scorpion-nado. That's what happened.
orders of the Ministry of Defense, local radio and television networks were prohibited from reporting on this matter.
The documentary Babylon was presented at an emergency meeting of the Ministry of Defense.
While there has been information about reigns of animals in the past, with certain
Bernard Ross and Richard Wellenfliss, they were invited in their capacity as principal researchers of the DW documentary.
logical explanations, the scorpions here pose a danger that the Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon has taken into serious consideration regarding the Babylon phenomenon.
In this meeting, a series of evidence presented regarding the scorpion rain recorded by different cultures contemporary to Babylon. Okay, so I guess during the we kind of got a glimpse of the Babylon event when we were talking about it from Iran, Afghanistan, and a whole bunch of different other cultures in the past. And it looks like here they're discussing that the scorpion rain, when this event happened, scorpion rain came and fell. And we have heard of this, the jelly blobs and, you know, spider, some other stuff, sometimes fish, I don't know. But here it dumped a bunch of scorpions on New York, it looked like, and a couple other locations. But they're also talking about how in the past, that same documentary, Babylon, that they were discussing about the past, had also mentioned scorpion rain. So let's go ahead and continue. The dome of the second Garden of Eden, whose accounts referred to a place protected from plagues. The plague of human testing, a drawing and account of a scorpion rain over Babylon, where they were expelled from valves on the tower. Okay, so we had another rain in China. This one's from China. Okay, this one's from Turkmenistan. A constellation of scorpions tested humanity, where men faced each other to gain entry into the new garden. This is from Turkmenistan. All right, now we've cut away from that. Looks like we're going back to found footage or VHS tape of some type. Investigation report.
The
Expedition
following
to Iraq.
presentation will be made to the Extraordinary Commission of the Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon regarding the investigative procedure carried out in Iraq between 1992 and 1993. The purpose of this procedure was to locate and dismantle a potential high-level threat cell to the nation. The objective was to enter some of the age-old tunnels where this group could be hiding. The special operation was led by Lieutenant General Dr. John Corelli, a Harvard University doctor in ancient Asian history and a physician at New York University.
Okay.
He had been entrusted with overseeing archaeological excavations in Iraq on the outskirts of Al-Andiya, approximately 15.3 miles west of the Babylonian ruins. With his extensive experience, Lieutenant General Dr. John Corelli had been appointed as the leader of this mission since 1988. Under his command were Lieutenant Colonels Wilson and Zatransky, who were delegated the security protocols for the expedition. According to the mission schedule, it was strictly regulated to take place over 13 months, divided into 2 phases. The first and more extensive phase occurred in 1992 to secure the exploration site, while the second phase took place in 1993 for the actual investigations. In May 1992, the official arrival of the United States Scientific Military Forces to the Al-Andiya region.
What else was going on in 92? Anybody remember? The first Gulf War
Occurred. Alongside the corresponding excavation machinery, the landing took place in an area that had seemingly been explored previously. The operation was conducted following NATO's Secret Protocol 32 for international intervention in global security emergencies. In July 1992, the security area was delimited and the action perimeter was established for the search and tracing of the Babylonian tunnels. Part of the zone was heavily fenced and patrolled with the highest required security standards.
Okay. Everybody following along, I hope?
Between September and December 1992, the excavation process began within a radius of 2.4 miles from ground zero in the desert. During this process, additional networks of artificial tunnels were constructed, along with a couple of underground bases remotely controlled from the Pentagon to provide specific surveillance of Hussein. In the second phase, between February and March 1993, 2 entrances to ancient tunnels were discovered. These tunnels, previously thought to be non-existent according to many ancient archaeological maps, appeared to extend eastward for no less than 2 miles with a slight incline to a depth of 2,800 feet. To the technical team's surprise, the temperature inside these tunnels dropped significantly, leading to signs of freezing. Likely, a layer of permafrost had remained unexplored for thousands of years. Towards the tunnel's end, it was entirely encased in ice. Finally, at a distance of 2.7 miles from ground zero, a massive vault was discovered. According to historical records, this vault belonged to King Scorpion, one of the lesser-known and studied monarchs of the Babylonian noble lineage. While it was initially considered a myth, archaeologists suspected the existence of at least one vault dedicated to the Scorpion Man in Mesopotamia due to its significance and mythological communication related to the underworld. Inside this vault were 2 enormous carved black stone statues depicting the deity's characteristic form, holding the world in
That doesn't look like anything like The Rock Dwayne Johnson.
its arms. Additionally, there were wall drawings related to the same entity. Within the vault, one of the most peculiar and defining objects of the mission's purpose was found. Among the various coffins and funerary vessels, something resembling an egg emerged. Scientists determined that it might be some kind of animal encapsulated for at least 2,600 years by the permafrost layer at the vault's depth. Its structure consisted of a pair of pedipalps, an indeterminate insectoid head, and a body with black and white stripes. When the initial images were transmitted to the Pentagon delegate, the mission took a significantly different course from its initial trajectory. Orders were issued to seize several objects from the tunnels, including the rare egg, which would be carefully investigated upon its arrival in American territory. On June 3, 1993, the official withdrawal of the scientific military team from the area was reported for subsequent analysis. The scientific military delegation deployed in Iraqi territory since 1992 with the aim of conducting a thorough exploration of the ruins near historic Babylon concludes with relative success. 2 tons of material were confiscated, including relics, cuneiform inscribed tablets, papyri, and an apparently dissected organism. The detailed report will be provided by the scientific committee once the President of the United States authorizes the return of the troops and the civilian commission to American territory.
Interesting. In 1994, the egg found in the ruins was placed under surveillance. For 6 months, it was under observation in various cells where a series of tests were conducted on it as it evolved. So, okay, what they're saying is this thing was alive. All right, it hadn't died yet. So that's fascinating. All right. Adjusting the camera here. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, back at it. All right, looks like we got a picture going on here of 2 people carrying what I'm assuming is the egg. During the first 2 months, the egg was transported in a sealed box to 5 cells for their respective examinations. Histological tests under a microscope of the egg's material revealed the presence of previously unseen microorganisms. Microorganisms that, despite being in a frozen state, began to move after being exposed to room temperature for more than 5 hours outside the egg. Finally, the egg was placed in a surveillance cell within a large box as over time inexplicably increased in size. Did I read that right? Within a large box, as over time inexplicably increased, exponentially. Is that No, that's not exponentially. Inexplicably increased in size. And the 4th month mark, the eggs seemed to have hatched, and from within emerged the following creature without a defined shape, long limbs surrounded by a very thin center. Are we going to get a picture? Let's hope we get a picture. This is kind of cool. It did not move and maintained the same color as the egg. Oh, wow. Look at that. Fascinating. Okay. The following week, the odd body was transferred to a highly secure underground facility due to the risk of the creatures exhibiting hostile behaviors. Ah, they said creatures, not creature, so there had to have been more than one egg. A few days later, the creature adopted a reptile-like mode of locomotion and began to explore the area. Are we going to see it? Oh, there we go. Okay. Interesting. That's creepy. Really creepy. After reviewing the images, they realized that the creature had retractable tail that could extend up to twice its own height. Had a retractable tail. Although it didn't display noticeably hostile behavior, it naturally tended to seek some sort of exit. The creature remained enclosed until 1996, showing little activity. However, on December 1st, 1996, surveillance cameras captured the moments when the creature transformed and disappeared, leaving behind a dismembered trail of its body. Look at that. Well done. Look at this. You see little pieces and parts of it all laying here through the ground. Okay. This is right before it disappeared, I'm guessing. Or as it's disappearing. That must be the energy. There's more pieces of it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, see? Looks like it grew exponentially. This event was directly linked to the appearance of the Towers of Babel on American soil. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I think I see where this is going. It was an alien. Protocol 48 has been active. Maximum civil deterrent alert. Okay. Turn that down a little bit so I don't blow you out here. I can't help how loud some of these are.
In the early hours of December 1st, 1996, there were hundreds of reports and police calls along the entire eastern coast of the United States and Canada. In cities like Philadelphia, Allentown,
look at that.
New Haven,
Look at that right
Worcester,
there. Looks like a Tower of Babel, doesn't it? Like from the earlier pictures. Interesting. Okay, okay. I see where we're going. I'm good with this.
In Halifax, Nova Scotia, millions of people witnessed around 2 in the morning the appearance of strange structures that emerged in the middle of the cities, amid tall buildings and residential complexes.
Oh, wow. So I just, poof, here we are. Looks
Emergency Protocol 48 from the Department of Defense for aerial events allowed for the immediate use of the hololuminescence projector on the East Coast. Beyond the unknown subsequent effects, the Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon ordered the immediate projection of a weather event that would obscure the view of the strange structures that had landed for no apparent reason. Although the event was unforeseen, the Security Committee experts had anticipated that, given the recent events on the East Coast, a phenomenon of such characteristics could reach unexpected levels. With the appearances under control, emergency exploration teams quickly surrounded the reported structures in all cities. An exploratory detachment was sent
that giant moon cannon
to uncover the nature of what were called the Towers of Babel. The final conclusions of the German experts who began to study this evidently mythical event resulted in the following tentative answers based on the hundreds of ancient records that seem to be repeating.
I would comment, but I'm going to. So what's going on now is, now we all know, if you followed along from the beginning, we had the luminescent cannon. They were trying to project a theory of the moon. This element 116 gives whatever they project gravity and substance, as well as transforms anything biological matter behind it. So all of a sudden, these towers that we had seen in the drawings from India, Turkmenistan, Pakistan, China, and Iran, of the original, of what they say is the Tower of Babel, all of a sudden start appearing all over the world. So they take the cannon, they blast it to kind of hide the fact that these giant alien ships just landed in the middle of, apparently, New York City.
First, the towers might be some sort of interstellar macroorganisms that landed on celestial bodies for reproductive purposes.
Now we're getting
Second,
an explanation.
The towers might have some kind of defensive mechanism involving spores if they were attacked or disturbed. Third, the towers were divided into 2 types: structural hibernation, propagation. The former remained static, emitting no pulses, and exuded an intense cold light on the outside,
so one's
while the
for
latter emitted
reproduction,
strange
one
sounds
is for
and pulsed
hibernation.
from tentacles extending from the top. The scientists decided that the exploration teams should only enter those towers of Category A and obtain as much photographic and internal material records as possible for later analysis.
Okay. So they're going to send teams in to go check this out. Do some video footage? That'd be cool. 4:55 a.m.
The team carefully entered through a small opening of the tower, where they encountered an interior structure that seemed even larger than the main tower. Inside, there appeared to be more towers with thousands of small openings resembling a membrane. A strange luminescence from within dimly lit a complex of enormous pillars. The explorers felt as if they were in another dimension. The image quality in this area was quite poor, as if energy similar to radiation affected its quality.
Okay. Look at that. All kinds of tentacles all over the place. So we're in the one that they said was in hibernation at this point. That's what's going on here.
After a few minutes of exploration, they came across tunnels formed by thick elongated structures, resembling tentacles but much harder, emitting a constant frequency akin to electrical static. These recesses became more complex as they ventured deeper under the tower. It's worth noting that throughout the exploration, there was no way to access upper levels.
So all they could do was go down.
The tunnels formed intricate labyrinthine paths, all of them with structures that closely resembled some Mesopotamian temples, including pillars identical to those that had survived the test of time, but always enveloped in long and extensive structures. Some of these exhibited slight repetitive pulsations that followed unchanging patterns. The explorers avoided direct contact with these at all costs. Everything had a deep black and grayish color, and although a dense mist covered some passages, the explorers commented that they never sensed the slightest odor. This was explained later, as after leaving the area, severe chronic anosmia was detected. Not all explorers managed to leave alive. There's only one record of one of them apparently being trapped by a group of tentacles. The testimony of one of his companions is enlightening.
Explorer at the moment of being attacked. 48-year-old explorer describes the event. Okay. It was very strange. Everything in deepest stillness until H accidentally stepped on one of those enormous cables that were all over the floor, and suddenly one of those cables or tentacles split, and from them more and more tentacles emerged that grabbed him in the blink of an eye. God, what they did to him. I'm not sure if I can describe it, but they used him like a container, like an additional layer of skin. Now his arms were more tentacles.
Continuing deeper, they encountered structures with a logic somewhat similar to human design, like tunnels with stairs leading to pits of immeasurable depth. And that would lead to the greatest mystery of the exploration. Metal doors with seemingly organic seals from which small samples were taken. These proved impossible to open, although no attempt was made by force to avoid any risk.
Interesting. Reminds me of those doors in the temples in India. The large ones where all the treasure was piled behind.
However, a passage was found without such limitations. Inside were objects that, with great terror, resembled the egg found in the excavations in Iraq. In fact, they were so similar that judging by the images, they could have been the same. This couldn't be verified as the exploration team didn't take samples of these.
For good reason. For good reason.
Finally, having obtained some evidence, virtually the entire exploration team emerged from the interior unharmed. Subsequent medical exams revealed, as already announced, severe chronic anosmia and a weakening in bone calcification. On the same day, December 1st, 1996, but at 10:04 in the morning, the sudden disappearance of all the towers in both U.S. and Canadian territory was recorded. They left a quite peculiar trace.
Okay.
Enormous craters with those tentacles solidified and crystallized inside. Some nearby buildings suffered structural consequences and also ended up with these petrified
Look at that.
tentacles in
Look at that.
their basements.
Strange substance found in the basement of some buildings adjacent to the craters. Okay. More of those tentacles, it looks like, but apparently they've all crystallized. Those things left, they all crystallized. So were they planting eggs? Were they, kind of like, panspermia? What was going on here? Hopefully it'll tell us. Yeah, right, Dex? These were subsequently examined.
Histological tests performed on these structures yielded similar results to those conducted on the egg captured in Mesopotamia. Tiny microorganisms writhed among the remnants left by the towers.
Okay. Unknown entities moving under the microscope, 1997. Okay, we've just cut away again. Northampton County, Pennsylvania, 1996. What's going on up here? Oh, crap. It's one of those towers. And it's got all the... All right, it's got all the tentacles around it. And the tentacles seem to be moving a little bit. Now we...
The months following the sudden and abrupt disappearance of the enormous towers saw the rapid covering and filling of the cavities that had primarily been left in the midst of cities,
Okay, so
as
they went
well
through
as
and
in other
filled them
rural
all in,
areas of the
so-
United States and Canada.
Okay. It's a lot of concrete. Josie, welcome back.
Subsequent studies in 1996 determined that approximately 21 towers had appeared along the east coast of North America. There were no reported injuries, and any sightings that had been documented through photographs or videos were duly confiscated by agents of the Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon.
In other words, Men in Black.
These actual craters left by the towers were properly encapsulated for further study. The terrain features bore a striking resemblance to what German researchers from Deutsche Welle had labeled the Second Garden of Eden.
Okay.
According to in-depth archaeological investigations, these locations were areas where some of the towers laid eggs and offspring of extraterrestrial beings.
Okay.
Their primary
Interesting.
characteristic was that they were incredibly fertile grounds for all forms of life and entirely immune to any chemical intervention.
Okay. It's probably the drawings of the Garden of Eden. So just to let you guys know, we got about 8 minutes left. The organic material found in the Garden of Eden area beneath the structure over the crater. Wonder why they're calling it the Garden of... Oh, because of the second Garden of Eden.
In fact, researchers noted that when the material found in the craters was removed for external laboratory study, it would quickly perish, or its activity under the microscope would not display the same agility as within the crater's perimeter. The case was closely monitored by American security departments and sub-offices until 1998 when, to date, the entities within the craters maintained their shape, weight, and size, displaying no anomalous behavior and appearing harmless during testing. It was, however,
New buildings constructed since 1998 in the crater area.
requested that they be removed from the craters by late 1997 in order to restore urban architecture and bury any public knowledge of an anomalous event.
Sounds like the SCP Foundation. All right, what do we got here? Following footage is from a 2014 YouTube documentary by a Mexican conspiracy channel My favorite. Let's do it.
Un nuevo y extraño fenómeno ha
A
sido
new and strange
captado por
phenomenon
personas
is
comunes
captured
en
by
todo el
ordinary
mundo.
people all over the world.
Expertos paranormales están
Paranormal
confundidos
experts are
y a
baffled,
otros
and
les
the
preocupa
others
que
are
se avecine el
concerned
apocalipsis.
that the apocalypse is imminent.
Desde el oeste de Canadá,
From
los
Western
cielos
Canada
grises de
to the
Inglaterra,
gray
hasta
skies
el
of
sudeste
England,
asiático y más
Southeast
allá.
Asia and beyond.
El sonido de algo
Sounds
siniestro ha
of
hecho
something
vibrar los
sinister has
tímpanos y
rattled
erizar la piel.
eardrums and sent shivers
En
down
2013,
spines.
Kimberly,
In
una joven
2013,
madre de
Kimberly,
Terrace,
a young
Columbia
mother
Británica,
from Terrence, British
se
Columbia,
despertó una mañana
woke
de
up
agosto con
one
estos
August morning
espantosos
and these
sonidos que venían del
horrifying
cielo.
sounds coming from the sky. Sounds like some bad trumpeting. I'd be horrified too.
¿Podrían estar estos eventos conectados con
Could
el
these events be connected to the myth of the ancient documentary Babylon?
mito del antiguo documental Babylon, supuestamente cancelado
Supposedly
antes de su
canceled
emisión
before
por
its
una cadena
broadcast by
televisiva
German
alemana en
television
los
network
años
in
80?
1980s.
¿Podrían haber regresado
Could
los
Babylon
dioses
gods have
babilónicos?
returned? Later in the documentary, initial consequence of the hololuminescence cannon experiment were revealed. Okay, we're going to get to the bottom of what's going on now. While the population never found out or suspected anything, the sound effects from the towers were exerting certain electromagnetic pressures on the cannon's projection, causing it to collapse much earlier than anticipated. Uh-oh, we're going to see the two moons?
Durante el boom de
During
estos
the
sonidos,
boom
denominados
of these
las
so-called
trompetas del
apocalyptic trumpet
apocalipsis,
sounds,
se diseminaron por la web una
series
serie
of photographs were circulated on the web that didn't cause as much stir as the sounds
de
themselves.
fotografías que no causaron tanto revuelo como los sonidos. Estas correspondían
Alberta,
a raros
Canada.
registros del cielo
These
con una serie de
corresponded to a rare sky record. Oh, look at that. Look at the sky's cracking. The sky is cracking. Oh, crap. With a series of unexplainable fissures. Rare sky records with a series of unexplainable fissures. Remember they were projecting the night sky with the hololuminescent cannon?
bajamientos y fisuras
Okay, maybe they made it
inexplicables.
solid.
Esto conllevó a la
This led to reactivation of the classic myth of flat Earth and the existence of a dome over the
reactivación del
surface.
clásico mito de la Tierra plana y la existencia de un domo sobre la superficie. ¿Será que efectivamente la
Could it
Tierra
be that
podría
Earth
estar
is
envuelta en algún tipo de
indeed enveloped in some kind of invisible material?
material invisible? ¿Podría ser un escudo, una
Good
proyección
night, Dex. Could it
electromagnética?
be a shield, an
claramente
electromagnetic
los
projection, since experts clearly ruled out that they were auroras?
Expertos descartaron que se tratasen de auroras boreales.
Good night, Dex. Thanks for being here, buddy. In 1990, the Interstellar Security Department at the Pentagon presented the evidence regarding the state of the moon to the Department of Defense 5 years after the New Moon project. Status of the New Moon project, 1994 to 1999.
The Lunar Prospector was a spacecraft designed to study the surface of the moon, launched on January 7, 1998. In order to investigate the existence of water on the natural satellite, it spent several months traversing across the vast lunar plains, analyzing the terrain. Its main findings included a comprehensive study of the gravitational state of the natural satellite. However, these studies also revealed the identification of an area where gravity seemed to be severely altered by some much larger object. Up to that point, the cracks on the moon were not affecting surface gravity, but something had been creating such an anomaly in the marked area. Once its research phase was completed, the Lunar Prospector was intentionally crashed at 9:52 Universal Time Coordinated on July 31st, 1999, at a speed of 6,000 kilometers per hour into a shadowed area near the South Pole, with the goal of detecting water vapor from ice deposits. In front of the press and in popular science publications, such news would be announced, establishing the idea of the gravitational anomaly as a mapping error due to a data capture glitch. In reality, the mission's objective was to locate the affected area and study it. It was publicly stated that the lunar prospector had collided in the wrong area due to a calculation error of the same nature as the mapping error, and the mission was considered concluded.
Once the area of the significant anomaly was located, the following images were captured during the controlled descent of the prospector. Oh, wow, look at that. A tower. Okay. We got a tower coming out of the fissures from the moon. Okay. Interesting. Wow, that was neat. All right, everybody. That would be tonight's show. Thank you all for joining. Remember, if you like this kind of content and you like what I do, go and give us a comment. Let us know what we can do better. Maybe I could quit snacking during the shows. I don't know. Or have my water ready. I could probably do a few things. But thank you all for being here. And thank you, everybody, for sticking through with me, sticking it out with me. This was good. Again, this was Babylon full footage by 4 Anomaly. Make sure, go to his thing. If you can, throw him $5 on Patreon. Let him know that we appreciate their work and what they do. Leave a comment and let him know where you got to see it. But make sure and definitely go over and watch his footage. Give him the watch time. We want to make sure and take care of our creators. All right. On that note, everybody have a good night, and we will be back on Friday, I believe. If not, I will definitely have a video uploaded by then. All right.